8 o'clock, 80 degrees, and 91% humidity. It's like breathing water. It's middle of October. I'll be back. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Not sure when you're catching this, but hopefully you are. This is part 2 of the episode where I take that 68 Mustang on a 2,000-mile journey. First part of this episode, we're going to fix my dad's 85 Fox body Mustang. It's got a bad fan clutch and we're going to replace that. I give out some Scott tips during that, so please pay attention. All the tools you need to do this process is an 11mm wrench, preferably gear wrench style wrench, 11mm socket, ratchet, and a 13mm socket. Now we preview the car, but we don't take it out on the road. It was raining cats and dogs and the car was really clean and we didn't want to take it out on the road. Then I start my journey back. I stop off at places like YearOne and the world's largest brick. Please join me. Cue the banjo. I'm up here in Georgia, and I'm going to replace the clutch fan in my dad's Fox body. Every time he turns on the AC, car overheats. It's the clutch fan. It's not engaging properly, so we're going to replace that. Get an OEM clutch fan. Do not get an aftermarket one. They fail all the time. They're not very good quality. To do this, we need an 11mm socket or wrench, an 11mm socket to get the bolts off of the fan shroud and the clutch fan off of the water pump. So I'll go do that and we'll start started.
Everything that I own that I'm not allowed to have in the house is in here.
My garage works much the same way. And the stuff that I didn't want to have out in the, like humidity, I basically got a storage unit, a controlled storage unit, right?
Yeah, well, I've got humidity control in the safes, but...
Right. But like the gun safe I wasn't allowed to put inside the house.
Oh.
Right? So, I just...
Oh, wow, so that is his living room.
I know. That's Lyle. His wife hunts. We're done, so we're going to test it out. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yep. This is my father's 1985 Fox body Mustang GT. It's got a 5-speed in it. 5 speeds came with a roller cam. The automatics did not, so it's a little bit more aggressively placed cam in there. It's got 15,000 miles on it. I bought this car from my dad last year during Thanksgiving. Not that he needs any help buying cars, it's just that every time he wanted to go buy a car, he found some reason not to buy it. He kept on saying, I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna get a hot rod. And every time he found some little thing like it, I don't know, maybe its wiper blades didn't look right or something, and he bailed on the deal. So I finally told him, I finally bought one for him. I was actually in Houston. Guy was gonna take this to the Mecum auction, and he brought it to a car show. And I said, well, maybe you don't have to take it to the auction, I'll buy it. So I looked it all over, and it's a pretty legit car. There's the only thing that's been changed on this car, it's been converted over to 134R, and the AC's ice cold. They put tires on it, they put shocks on it, and I think they redid the exhaust. They had to replace the exhaust because there was some rust in there. Then when I got it, I fixed the oil leaks. The cam button on the back of the engine was leaking, so we took the transmission down, we replaced the clutch, and then the biggest thing we did is switched over the rear end to 373 rear ends. That really wakes up this car. Other than that, there's nothing else on this car that's been changed. It still even has, and a lot of people change the carburetor on here, it still has the Ford Holley factory carburetor on there, which is kind of a, you know what, the tune, because Ford, when they coordinated with Holley to create this carburetor, they put a lot of emissions controls on it, and it's really finicky to work with. Most people just took them off and changed them. We were able to get this one to work. Another thing on this car that's really unique is it has the fog lamp covers still on there. Those are stolen all the time because they're so valuable. And also, there are not very many out there also because people leave the fog lights on and melt the covers. So a little Scott tip for you, if you do have these fog light covers, they're very valuable, and do not leave the fog lights on because they will melt the covers. Take them off. We haven't even taken them off because we don't know if they're going to crack or not, so we just leave them on there. This is one of the cleanest cars I've ever seen. It's, matter of fact, it was hard for me to leave here. I towed it up here from Houston on Thanksgiving last year, and it was hard for me to leave without it, quite honestly. It is that clean, it is that enjoyable to drive. Especially when you put those 373s in there, it wakes up that engine. First gear is really, really quick, and it's just an enjoyable car to drive. So I hear. No, actually, my dad lets me drive it, so it's actually really cool. We're going to go through the car, look around it and such like that. We'll just preview it really quick. It's a special car to me because it's something I was able to do for my dad that I think he really, really appreciated. And it was something that I could do that really made me feel good about all the things I've done. I don't know how many cars I've wrecked of my dad's. So to me, to be able to replace at least one of them and give him one back, it was something special for me to be able to do.
This is an 85 Mustang GT in jalapeno red. How can you not choose that color when you have other choices like medium charcoal and sand beige? This is during a time when they still use one-stage paint, so in waxing it, the paint would still come off on the rag. This has the 5-liter 4-valve high-output engine, which means 210 horsepower and 265 foot-pounds of torque. It resulted in a net snapping 6.460 and 14.9 quarter mile. Okay, so cars have come a long way since then, but these were pretty good numbers back then. Its interior is immaculate in medium charcoal and has the original stereo, which is incredible, really bad, and unique 80s quirks like a ridiculous looking map like that can only be described by E.T.'s finger. I'm really starting to love and appreciate the 80s muscle cars.
So I had no idea this was here. Actually, I'd never paid attention to it, but YearOne. Right off 85, coming back from my dad's place. So I yanked off the road, go inside the lobby. I actually need a part or two, and if I can, I'm gonna try to get it. If not, well, you know, I'll just go through the catalog. But I do want to see what's inside. just call them on the phone and get the parts I need. I want to get back on the road. So, let's go. I'm going down 85 and I see this, the world's largest brick. And I think to myself, it's always been a lifelong aspiration to see the world's largest brick. Well, okay, actually no. But here it is. And I got a little disappointed when I got up because I'm envisioning a brick and how they put this together. I got to find out how they did it. Well, I think it's a great promotion, sales not gimmick, but sales technique. But actually, if you look at it, it's actually a bunch of little bricks put together to make it look like the world's largest brick. But hey, it's still there. Yeah, that's all I got.